Hey, this is Mike from Heartland Preservation Society here. I'm sitting up at the Lewiston-Altura High School. On my left is Superintendent of Schools, Jeff Apse. And on my right is Toby Brummer, a member of the Lewiston-Altura School Board. And I'm glad you could have us here, Jeff. I just kind of wanted you to tell people just a little bit about yourself, your background, where you came from, and kind of fill me in a bit, Jeff.
Sure. Well, I've been with Lewiston-Altura Public Schools. This is my 9th year, and my 5th year as superintendent. Prior to that, I was the high school principal for 4 years. Before that, I was a business and marketing teacher for Rochester Public Schools. And my last few years there, I was an administrator or an assistant administrator, and I was working on my principal's license. And when I was getting toward the end of that, I started applying for opportunities, and Lewiston-Altura attracted me, and I applied for that, and I interviewed, and I'd interviewed for a couple positions, but there's one thing that I found that was interesting about Lewiston-Altura's approach. I sat in the lounge for a while, kind of nervous about an interview that's going to pop up, and I had a board member and a group of students that stopped by, and they gave me a tour, and I walked around and had an opportunity to talk to the kids and find out, what they thought was great about their schools. And so I felt pretty good about that after having an opportunity to interact with the students, and then, like I said, a board member. And I had a chance to sit back in the lounge again and wait again for a while. And then the superintendent stopped in.
This was Dr. Montplaisir?
Yeah, this is Dr. Montplaisir. Yeah, and he stopped in. He says, "Hi, I'm Bruce Montplaisir, and got a few people I want you to talk to." I'm like, "Oh, all right, sounds great." So Bruce escorted me down to the library. And I walked in, and it was, I'm thinking, a few people. There's 32 people that were in the library. And it just, it was energizing when I walked in. And what it showed me is that, yeah, it's a small school, but this isn't just, this isn't, it's the decision to hire a high school principal. It's not just a school district decision, it was a community-wide decision. Not only did you have, of course, administration and board members there, but you had students, you had representatives from every staff group, you had members of the Booster Club, community members, pretty much anybody that wanted to be a part of it from the community came in.
It might have been welcoming, but yet maybe a little intimidating, Jeff, at first when you walked in. You weren't quite expecting the Inquisition yet, were you?
No, not necessarily the Inquisition part of it, but it's hard to say intimidating. Like I said, I use the word energizing because, like I said, I'd been in a couple of other interview situations, and there was nothing like that I had experienced. Large school system, small school system, and it was really it was a great experience. I still remember the questions that were asked, and as each question was asked, and I'm hearing the responses from the people that were there, I really felt like this could be a place I could make a positive contribution to, or I could be a part of.
You got a good feeling right away.
Yeah, I got a great feeling. And I remember getting home that night, and my wife had asked me, she's like, "Well, what'd you think?" I go, "If they call me, I'm taking it in a heartbeat." Wasn't
for half the money, don't worry.
I wasn't worried about any of that. I mean, it just was a good feeling on what you could do, and I think a lot of that was just the message that was sent from the people that were there on what type of place Lewiston-Altura is.
And that's what makes this school special. And again, to my right is Toby Brummer, and Toby is a member of the school board, and also Toby, you have kids in the system here. So tell us just a little bit about yourself, Toby. I know enough about Toby but let's hear it, Toby.
Well, I've been on the school board since 2011. An interesting story about Lewiston-Altura. Jeff was saying how he felt about it as a community, and shortly after Jenny and I got married, we had bought a piece of property down by Nodine. Yet we still were in contact with many of our friends and people around here, and we had some kids, and we were debating where they should go to school, and that was in the Winona School District. And I just said, we got to get back towards Lewiston. It's such a nice place to be and to raise our kids. So we made that choice, and we moved back, and right now I have a 15-year-old, a 14-year-old, I'm going to screw it up, a 12-year-old and a 10-year-old.
You've got a lot of kids, Toby.
And I have nothing but good to say about the school district.
And ultimately, Toby, you made a decision for the betterment of your family to bring them to the small school environment, which I think is a great thing. I think that speaks volumes about what's going on in this whole Lewiston area. I mean, we're trying to build on a couple of things. We're trying to show there's some pride in this area, and there's a ton of hope here. Mm-hmm. So you became involved, Toby. You got on the board. You've known Jeff for a long time. You guys have a good working relation with the board, Jeff. I'm sure you'd agree on that.
Yeah, well, yeah, absolutely. And I think that's part of what makes things click very well in our school district is we've got 7 board members. I have 7 bosses, and I know it sounds like, maybe I'm brown nosing a little bit. Toby's sitting right here. But,
he's your favorite boss.
Well, I mean,
today.